All right, we're live. Metal Gets Me High, episode 7. Me, Al, my co-host, Brad, Ramon,
What up?
and our special guest, friend
Yo,
of
how
the
y'all doing?
show, Wyatt.
What's going, everybody?
So we're excited. Wyatt's a good friend of the show. He's a more casual metalhead fan, but that's good because this part of the show is we want to welcome people to metal, and we'll hear about his experiences with metal. Um, so let's just get right into it. The first question I always ask everyone is, what does metal mean to you? How does metal get you high?
I would say I'm not someone that's opposed to metal music, but I don't ever really go out of my way to listen to it. But I would say like what gets me high about metal is like I don't know, like in the gym or like you're doing something like really important and like you gotta get after it and get it done. I feel like listening to metal music gets you through that rhythm. Like for some reason, like it just hypes you up. Like sure, it's something I'm gonna want to kick it on a Sunday and like, hey, I'm gonna go out my patio and have a cup of coffee and listen to some metal. Like I get, that's something guys would do, and I totally respect that. Like
Yeah.
at the same time, I really only listen to metal if I'm in there and I'm like I'm about to max out right now in the gym. Let me throw some freaking heavies on and hear some riffs and just get under the weight and go. So I
No,
Hey,
guess
those
that
riffs will
would
get you
be
going,
how
man.
metal gets me high.
I get that. I totally get that. And something we talk about is like what's cool about metal is like there are different kinds of metal. So I understand definitely what you mean, like hanging out on a Sunday morning, freaking doing what Razor's doing, or throwing a couple cold ones down. I feel like that's the cool thing about metals. There's all kinds of different like types of metal, and we bring up it's the only genre where bands like freaking Obituary, Slipknot, and then like Baroness, who's clean, and it's more guitar stuff. They all coexist, and you can see them on the same card. And it's a different taste for everybody. So I totally get you there. What is your like first experience with metal, like that you can remember?
Um, I feel like when like our group really started getting tight, like you guys introduced it to me music wise, and I remember like just like first couple times hearing it, I was kind of just like what are we listening to? Like they're just
So
screaming. You
what
can't,
is this
yeah,
shit?
like you can't, you can't even understand a word the guy's like goddamn word the guy's saying. And then next thing you know, I started being around and we start listening to it, and the next thing you know, like, you hear a song a couple times and then you start to pick up words here and then there. Next thing we were like in a car jamming out, singing the whole song, screaming it, and you're like, bro, like I fuck with this now, like. And so I think it was you guys, and then my first ever experience with it when we all went to Knotfest. That
Yeah,
was
good
just
time.
whole, bro. That was probably my favorite like experiences with live ever. Like if I think about it, like that was probably my number. It was incredible.
I
We
think it
definitely
was
have to
cool
get into
too.
that.
Yeah, I think it was cool too. Like it was a diverse bill where you got to see someone who you dig a little bit more, like Volbeat, who's more
I
accessible.
was gonna say, you guys baited me in. You're like, come on,
Volbeat,
bro, Volbeat's coming. I was like, all right, I'll
It's
go.
called the bait and switch. Bait and
yeah.
switch.
But then
I'll
like
follow him
before
into the
that,
Bait
wind.
switch.
and you know what? Something for your rookie ears that you don't know is you saw the band that I consider pound for pound the best band that you could see live. That's Gojira.
100%.
Gojira is just incredible live, man. Like nobody sounds heavier than them, and they just bring an untapped energy. So I think it's cool to be able to take you to a show where you got to see Gojira, even Behemoth, who is pretty extreme to say the least for somebody who's a little more casual. And then, of course, you get to see arguably the biggest metal band in Slipknot. So I thought that was a pretty dope show to be able to take you to. And I think we took Brad's brother too.
We did. We took Ryan to that show as well. All slammed in the Avalon or the Volt? The Volt.
No, that
Volt.
was the Avalon for sure.
Was
The
it?
Avalon
That was
made
the
Damn.
Avalon,
it.
man.
I do remember that, man. Fucking pulling up to the pulling up to
Shoreline
the parking
Amphitheater.
lot, Shoreline Amphitheater, out in the lawn, in the pit, taking Ryan. I mean, I took Ryan before to Slayer, but I mean, taking him to that was pretty cool. Really good experience. Got to show Wyatt the ropes. As soon as the pit
got
started,
to see the ropes. I got the goddamn ropes. Let me tell you.
Let's go into that because, like, as someone who goes to shows, we know that there's controlled chaos and there's like an agreement amongst everybody. But somebody who's never gone to a show before and witnessing what you witnessed, which was Slipknot opening with "People Equal Shit" and a giant wall of death. Walk me through that moment. Like, what was going through your head? Because for us, that's just another day in the office.
Well, it was just the whole thing was like honestly pretty surreal. Like we walk in there, I didn't really know what to expect, and like right from the get-go, like people in line. Once we got in, just kind of barging through crowds, moving through people. Everyone's like hella cool. Granted, like people are just like dressed out like you would expect to be at a metal concert, like I mean it like, and then you get out and start playing, and I remember kind of like, all right, like where the fuck's the mosh? And you guys are like, go over, let's go see it. And we go over there, and I was like, and then I didn't realize it's huge, and I was like, holy, like, and I was observing at first. I was just gonna like go dive right into it, and I just remember we walked. Al's just boom, it's gone. Just jumps in the mosh, going around
straight in.
I was tripping. I was like, oh my! And then I start watching, and I realized, oh yeah, like people are actually really chill. They're like no one's in there trying to like hurt someone. And the crazy part was when that happened. And if someone was in there being an asshole, like the amount of people that like snapped and realized it right away and just like kind of went and just
stopped.
They stopped it, and then
instantly.
they kind of fucked the guy up. and dude, no, fully, it was tight like we saw Gojira, Volbeat was tight. And then like I remember like at night, like like sunset, they shut the lights off. And everyone's just like there, like you guys just like start laughing. Fucking here it comes, and I'm like, oh god, like what's happening? And then like you just kind of hear like some drums just playing, and I was like, okay. I look around and I just see the sea parting in the crowd, and I see dudes at the front lines like start throwing like mouses in and shit, and I was like, what the fuck? And then we gotta get here. Just kind of moved to the side, and then like, the music just kept building, and like the crowd just kind of getting bigger and bigger and bigger outside, and fucking boom, the light came on, and they started and everyone just ran and they just
converged,
just kind of like go down the hill, and it just like on to all of us.
It's like a medieval war.
It was insane, bro. It was so insane, like. And the whole time everyone's just screaming with the music and is rocking, bro. They're nuts. Slipknot, like that's what I'm saying. Like metal is the best thing to hear in person, so because if you have the chance to go see Slipknot in person, you do it because it or just a concert in general. Like the instrument live, a stage with the speaker, everything, the amps, like it's the radio and like songs don't do it justice. But like that experience itself, I remember I was genuinely kind of scared. Like in the crowd, I was kind of scared.
I remember seeing
like it was nuts. And
I remember seeing your.
Do you remember the security guard?
1,000%.
Like, you remember the security guard? The security guard's like, stop!
Yeah, he's like, help! He's like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And I was like, oh fucking. Razor was just laughing ass off the whole time, dying. Brad's throwing people off him. And I was just like, wow, you like that? What? Dude, that shit, bro. That's my top experience. I've given a live music event, man. Like, and I've gone to like shows and other types of festivals, and I like that music more. But like going to a live event, the Slipknot was the top, no doubt.
Hey, Wyatt, unplug your mic, put it back in. Your audio's cooked.
Oh, no. I thought it was me, low key. I was like, "Am I
too.
Wyatt's audio
that much?"
Yeah, no. Unplug that mic and go.
What about now?
Or something.
What about now?
Yeah, that's good. That's
there
perfect.
We go. That's so much better. There we go.
There we go.
You know, I remember like I've always been drawn to metal, and it's something that like seeing it in person definitely was something that like where it clicked. I was kind of like I was always like, you know, tapping my toes, and then I finally saw it and I was like, okay, this makes so much sense. Like, this is why I want to do this. So I remember, you know, being a young lad and taking Brad to his first show. And I remember, obviously, you know, we all played football together, and I was like, dude, like, this is the music to listen to before you go into war. Fuck that rap shit. Like, there's nothing cool to me about like listening to like music about smoking pot and fucking chicks. It's like I want to listen to music where like I want to snap your neck. So I remember my first time ever getting the auxiliary in the weight room was the last time ever. And I played such a mild song, the most
it's your fucking nightmare.
Most mild mannered song, and it was Nightmare by Avenged Sevenfold. And as soon as the fucking chorus hits, it's your fucking nightmare. Fucking Coach Wolfley tells me to turn it off. I'm like, dude, I don't want to listen to your fucking bullshit Christian rap while I'm lifting. Let me get some freaking loud amps in my face.
Don't hate on McCray, bro.
That shit too.
Dude, I'm gonna hate on
McCray.
I'm gonna hate on McCray all day. It's funny because like I remember even another time that like trying to kind of, you know, or a time where I've always loved metal and kind of getting made fun of was when Brad one time at a game, we were we're freshmen, and him and another person who I won't fucking put on blast, and they're like they're like making fun of me. They're like, oh, look at this song. And they play "Wait and Bleed" by Slipknot. I'm like, yeah, that's "Wait and Bleed" by Slipknot. That's it. That shit's fucking sick.
Fucking song right there.
Don't worry, we're all.
Do I know?
Once upon a time.
Do I know this person?
Yes, you definitely know this person. Definitely.
Put it in the chat.
We'll just put it this way. He and Brad and I, we all share a first name.
Okay.
He's like, I know who that is.
I mean, it's
probably someone I don't fuck with now these days.
So that always cracked me up. And then I also remember in the locker room, I would get the chance to play what everyone thought was some hard shit at the time, which was "Burn Motherfucker" by Five Finger Death Punch, and everyone in the locker room would be like, "What the hell is this?" Like, what the hell?
You know what? Hey, that was before I got into metal. I'm like, this is a pretty damn good song right here. This is getting me ready.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, I remember everyone would want to listen to like Kendrick Lamar or some shit, and I'd be like with my earphones in listening. Yeah, I'd sit there and I'd be listening to my freaking Whitechapel in my earphones. I'm like, all right, I'm ready for war. How about tell us like maybe a couple of metal artists that you would say are important to you as far as metal goes?
I don't know if you can correct me wrong. I really like Korn, dude. I really like Korn. I love that bass.
Do me a favor. Hold up, Wyatt.
Wyatt, unplug that mic. Unplug it. Get rid of it. Take it out. Put it on your AirPods. It's ruining everything.
You're good. We could go ahead.
No, he's on mute. He's on mute right now.
That, let's talk about something. I want to just go back into the high school days real quick.
Let's hear it.
When we started senior year and I started really getting heavy into metal, I remember before the game,
I can't hear you guys. One sec.
We hear you perfect now.
Oh yeah, we can hear you
loud and clear now. You don't sound like a robot.
You hear us?
That's perfect.
All right, what about now?
Yeah,
there we go.
Much better. Much better.
There.
Much better.
You're like skipping.
Yeah.
Phone, then.
I mean, I only try to tell you. But
I have to join on my phone.
Do your thing, brother.
We'll hold it down.
We'll hold it down for the time being while he gets back. Before football games, I remember laying on my back in all my pads and just looking at the sky, listening to the Dead Silence by Whitechapel, and just taking that in. Yeah, exactly. And I would just have this mentality of like, I'm not going to let the motherfucker in front of me beat me at all tonight. And I'm going to make his life a
100%.
living fucking hell every single snap. And
It's funny.
you know, for the
There he is.
There he
welcome
is.
back.
Perfect.
I'm
And for the
back.
most part, I would do that every single night, and
You would.
you know, every Friday night, and I miss that about the connection of metal and football.
Yeah.
Fuck, I
It
wish
really
I could have
got
that
you
back.
pumped.
Right? Like,
Yeah,
dude, I
yeah, it
wish
really
I could
hit
have
home.
been. I wish I could have, like, I know now the things that I know. I wish I could have really freaked some motherfuckers out and play them like some obituary or some freaking Cannibal Corpse and see what their reaction to a song like Evisceration Plague is. Like, you know,
Well, how about
that's-
some Lorna Shore?
Oh, we unfortunately, you know, we wouldn't be able to get that because that wasn't in our day. But I agree, Will Ramos, that guy, he's a tiny
Will
little
Ramos
guy.
might have been with Chelsea Grin at the time, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
right?
no. Tom
other way around.
Barber, yeah,
Tom
Tom Barber
Was with Lorna
That's
was
Shore.
my
with
buck up right there.
yeah, but go ahead as you're saying, Wyatt. Corn, which I agree is
Yeah, I really
great
like
intro
Korn.
band.
Yeah, I like that. You know, slapping the bass. I thought that was really
Yeah.
cool about them.
Shout out Fieldy.
Because I remember, I can't remember. I was one of you guys. I was like, bro, what's that noise? Like, what is that instrument? And you're like, bro, he's slapping the bass.
Yeah.
He's literally and I was like, slapping the bass, like. And
Oh, shit.
dude, I really like them. I mean, I like you guys have put me on to Slipknot. I really like them. I listened to a lot of Gojira before we went to Knotfest. I like them. Like, I feel like the ones I focused on was because like once I got the ticket to the show, I was like, all right, I want to hear what these bands sound like to see what I'm gonna like.
Yeah.
Like other than that, like I haven't really explored artist wise, but that's what I'm saying. I do listen to like when I go to the gym, I'll listen to like Five Finger Death Punch Radio on Spotify, or
Yeah.
I'll go to a Korn album and I'll play like their album like while I'm doing a lift or something like. So like I do like those bands. Like you guys are like, oh, Five Finger. Like
No. You know what? I
Hey, you got to start
especially-
somewhere.
Yeah,
you got to start
agreed.
somewhere.
I like Five Finger. I really like Volbeat. Like
Volbeat's
Bro,
great.
I had a Five Finger Death Punch T-shirt. I'm ashamed of
Me
it,
too.
but I had it.
And
no, but I like those are the bands I really listen to, and that's really like all I listen to. Like when I get into like heavy metal and stuff like that, like maybe I'll throw in like some classic rock or like Metallica.
Gotta
Or
throw
like
Metallica. Or
But other than
Metallica's
that, like
metal
that's
as
really
fuck.
about it.
I'm gonna tell you something, Wyatt. I'm gonna give you just something that I'm sure Brad will vouch for me. Throwing some Megadeth here and there, bro. Megadeth is the
If
reason
you
I
like
say Megadeth.
Metallica, you'll love
Yeah.
They have a
Megadeth.
great new song out too.
The reason
Just came
I'm
out.
gonna say Megadeth is because Dave Mustaine is probably the most important guy in metal because he's the guy who taught the guys in Metallica how to write songs, and he taught Kerry King from Slayer how to do a lot of things. And he's very narcissistic, but my God, could the guy write songs and play the guitar? He's arguably
he's a
the
surgeon.
best. Yeah,
I believe we've talked about this before, but watching Dave even at an older age is fucking something different.
Yes.
He kills that shit. Like his riffs live are ridiculous, and he still has pipes on him.
yes. And here's I'm gonna take a quick little turn here because you brought up Korn. Because I have two things. One is, dude, the other day I had like a moment because I hadn't really listened to Korn in a while, and it's not because I don't like Korn. It's just like I'm really into like my music, my metal taste change. Sometimes I don't want to get yelled at. Sometimes I only want to get yelled at in my ears.
Yeah.
So the other day I was like, you know what? I haven't listened to Korn in a while, so let me listen to a Korn. And I have a really short drive to work. It's like 8 or 9 minutes. So I put together like 3 songs that I was going to go back to back to back. And I played it, and I was listening to it, bro. And I was just singing as loud as I could in my car. And my 3 songs were Good God, Got the Life, and Right Now. And from Good God to Got the Life, I kid you not, bro, I shed a tear. And then I sit there and I'm like, dude, I'm a fucking weirdo. Like, I literally just shed a tear, and I just started laughing because I'm like, dude, like, why is it that like this weird little genre like could make me feel so giddy, especially a song that I've heard a million times? But like that's just the power of music, man. That's metal getting me high. And then the other thing is, every time I hear that last song that I played right now, it takes me back to this time, back in the day, man. It was a while ago. Me, you, Brad, and Ramon were in Brad's old cruise, that cruise hatchback. We were coming home from Denny's at like 3 a.m.
Oh,
And Right Now was on channel 41 on Sirius XM, which is Turbo. And I remember Brad playing that song at full blast, and I remember all of us at the top of our lungs just screaming,
screaming that shit.
Dude,
yeah, that was fucking great.
every time I hear that song too, it takes me back to that moment where I'm just like, dude, I remember being in that little freaking cruise hatchback, just screaming my freaking head off to that song.
It's so crazy how music could do that and just take you back to a spot that you were in, fucking 5-10 years ago or whatever it is.
Exactly, man.
It's a beautiful thing, honestly.
I couldn't agree more, man. Like that's really just what metal does to me in general. Just there's certain songs where it takes me back to a certain moment, and I think that's pretty dope. And there's this podcast I listen to. It's Rob Flynn's No Fucking Regrets, and it cracks me
Shout
up
out Gas Digital Network.
because every time he has a guest on, he asks somebody like, "So what was going on when you lost your virginity? Did you have music? Did you have a movie on?" And so many people, dude, say that they had Slayer on in the background when they fucking. So many people.
That's what I forgot to say. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
That was another thing at the concert. People screaming, "Fucking Slayer!"
And Slayer's
It's a staple
not
of
even there.
mine. It's a staple of mine to make sure that I scream fucking Slayer at every single metal show that I go to at least once.
You have
You
to, man.
fully were, but I'm saying like there was a lot of other people that were screaming.
Yeah, no,
back.
it's definitely a thing.
It's a
And
thing,
when
bro.
you
It
yell
is.
it, you get a fucking Slayer back, and then that fucking Slayer adds another fucking Slayer, and the next thing you know, you got 40, 50 people all at the top of their young fucking Slayer.
And that's great. And that's one of the cool things about Slayer is like me and Ramon have talked about this. They are like the embodiment, in my opinion, of a metal band. Because when I close my eyes and I think of a metal band, I think about Slayer because of their pentagrams, the upside down crosses, just the way the logo looks, the way every guy in the band looks. Guys wearing Raider jerseys and shit. Like that's just sick.
When I think of metal, I just see Kerry King fucking going like this the whole fucking time.
His head just hanging down, just bobbing. Like,
dude, bobbing.
Well, his neck and head are one piece.
Yeah.
So it's like all one piece. It's the same shape of his head as his neck. Yeah.
I'm just going to go out and say that if by the time I'm 50 years old, I don't need neck surgery, I've failed in life.
just fucking.
You need a disc replacement and shit.
Dude, tonight I was at my sister's birthday dinner, and on my way back, like I'm like 10 minutes away from home. I exit on the freeway, roll down the windows. I'm like, what do I want to listen to? So I sit there and I roll down the windows and I listen to one of my favorite Black Dahlia songs because I've been in the feels with the whole Trevor thing because they released that new shirt to cover his funeral thing. So I've just been like, man, I need to really dig deep in my Trevor Stern ad. So I listened to the song "I Will Return," and I'm sitting there just driving, screaming it, throwing my arm out the window, throwing up horns, fucking waving the circle pit, dude. Like,
you know what? And shout out to that company that did that because
Night Shift merch.
Yeah, I this morning you were showing me that, and I was like, is this company like what are they keeping versus how much they're giving? We looked it up, and they're giving 100% of the proceeds to the band. I mean, not to the band, to the funeral costs, which is amazing. That a merch company stood up and did that shit. That's cool as fuck.
It is, man. It is. It's sad to see a warrior go, but we got to send them off, and so
with
everyone
with a Viking funeral.
Exactly, man.
Nothing less.
Nothing less. Well, now, this isn't just metal. This is also Metal Gets Me High. So something I want to get into. Tell us about your first time getting high, Wyatt. Tell us about that experience.
I know this and I love it so much.
Dude, so
the first time.
The very first time?
The very
Yeah,
first
that's
time.
a funny story right there.
It feels like the first time.
Explain
first
who.
time.
Remember on the sidewalk?
Oh, but I didn't get high that time. Like,
Okay,
like
that makes okay.
That's
first
fair.
time
Tell
getting
us
high.
about the first time you remember getting
I
high.
remember the first time I like smoked weed and like it was stupid and I took like I tried to roll like some makeshift joint that probably looked like a piece of bark and like I couldn't even get like 2 hits out of it and then like one of my sister's friends saw me and I just like threw it in a gutter and he's like, I saw that and I was like, shut up. And he's like, I'm telling you this shit. But the other time was like when we graduated high school, and I remember we were all smoking at that park.
Hyde Park.
And no, we were at the park by Razor's old place, bro.
Yeah,
And we were at
Abe Rojas's park.
Yeah,
I was the degenerate, everybody. So everything that happened was around me.
What happened at Razor's house?
And I just remember
all that shit.
All of it. And I remember just like smoking. And I remember like I think it was out of a pipe. And I think it was out of a pipe or like
Mr. Jack.
The what?
Jack the
Ripper.
Jack the Ripper.
And bro,
his own name.
I remember I was just so high, like I don't know, I feel like everyone like who like smokes weed before like knows like that first time they get high, like they're just like their whole body's kind of tingling and they got like their heads kind of running, but like everything just feels at the same time like comfortable, but it's just like whoa, like
yeah,
it's
dude,
bro,
like a fucking. You're out of it. It's
dude. And I remember I got hella paranoid and someone was telling me there was dinosaurs over in the bushes and then I got hella paranoid that there was a fucking dinosaur over there. Like,
is that when Brad learned how to not feel his neck and just
I
remember
those days.
My neck. And I would just
And then I remember going to McDonald's that night and having my first high munchies.
Oh,
and
there's nothing better.
Bro, I remember I got 4 McDoubles, a McChicken, a large fry, a shake, and a soda. And I smacked all of it. I had a McGangbang and then ate the 3 McDoubles, killed the fries, killed the shake while I was eating everything, and then just like slammed it all with the soda. Went home and knocked out so hard and woke up the next day and I was like, so boys, are we getting high again? Like, I was fucking
you're like, I'm with it. This is the shit. I want to do this all the time.
And then we just became into some fucking burnouts, dog. Like,
dude,
just
straight up,
bro. Dude, there was a good like 2-3 year stretch. Just like any chance we got, like, bro, I'd be at work delivering pizzas and you guys would be like,
pull
hey,
up to my house.
Pull up, and I'd drive like 2 blocks
take
over
a
the
dab.
house I delivered, and you'd have like the nail heated for a dab for me, and I would take it and rip it. There was times I'd go to people's houses for tips, and like they would just be like, "Oh yeah, here, I don't have money for a tip, bro. You wanna hit the bong?" And I'm like, "Fucking rack it."
You're like, shoot it.
No,
I remember those days. Like, I don't know how, like, but somehow or another, dude, between the 4 of us, we always had means to smoke. And, like, I always think about those days where it's like,
when there's a will, there's a way.
Like,
well, life was easy.
Life was so easy.
You didn't have to worry about nothing other than getting enough money to get a dub for the night.
Exactly.
A dub between 5 people.
Dude, not even that. No,
on our ass.
No. Remember, dude, it'd be like, oh, I got 5, I got 10, I got 20, I got 40. So next thing you know, you got like $50, bro. We're all just
buy a quarter, roll like 4 blunts, and just go.
Hey Vic, you still got that blue Cokes or what?
Oh man.
God.
Those were some great times.
R.I.P.
And it sucks because I've been kind of going through. My girl, she's got like something where she's got to stop smoking for a couple weeks. So me being the kind person I am, I'm like, you know what? Let me, like, if I'm just walking around chiefing, like, you're gonna slip up, and you can't slip up. So I'm 3 days of not smoking, and like I can't tell you how much I miss it. Just in these 3 days, I'm just like,
don't worry, everybody.
Hitting those cold sweats yet?
Dude, I've slept probably like a combined 8 hours the last 2 days. And like, when I go to bed, I don't even fucking feel tired, dude. I'm just like laying in bed, like, all right, hopefully I'll fall asleep. And then like, because I would say I definitely use weed as like a self-medication because like I feel like I've got pretty bad anxiety, and like I've had to live with this anxiety for like the last 3 days where I'm kind of just tripping out over bullshit for no reason. Yeah. And it's like so annoying because I'm like, I could just smoke and this would be gone, but I can't wait because in these 3 weeks when they're up, when I get high, bro, I'm gonna be higher than fucking Grand Wizard.
You're gonna take one dab and you're gonna hit the fucking stratosphere.
And the first day that I smoke pot is gonna be at the fair, so I can't wait to just.
Bro, that'd be the worst
dude.
shit ever, bro. I guess
Are
not.
you
Like,
kidding
imagine,
me?
like
Corn
what,
dog
if you get
corner?
high and get hella paranoid because you haven't been high in a while, and then you're just walking around a bunch of rednecks.
Yeah, but the thing is, like it's easy for me, just because like kind of what changed it for me was doing mushrooms. Like the paranoia isn't real. Like I'm like, oh, this isn't real. This is just
It's all in your head.
because I took this substance. I'm a little paranoid because like the times I've done shrooms, sometimes I'll hit these moments where I'm like, this doesn't feel okay, and then I have to be like, no, but you took like this substance and it makes you feel a certain type of way.
You're like,
And
I just
then-
took a heroic dose of mushrooms.
Dude, because
I've
last time I took it,
this.
the last time I took mushrooms, I ate like 5.5, 6 grams. And
oh my gosh.
the best part of it all was me and my girl, we went on the canal, we walked, and we come back home. And I'm like, you know what? I want to listen to some music right now. So good old Brad bought me for my birthday this Jimi Hendrix vinyl. And I threw on this Jimi Hendrix vinyl, bro. And the vinyl itself, it has a yellow cover. And when I turned it on, like my house turned this hue of yellow. And like
He knew. Jimmy knew. Honestly,
and like
Jimmy knew.
the like whole room was just moving, and like I could feel the creative energy of the music, and it was such a beautiful thing. And it's something I always think about. And when I hear like Jimi Hendrix gets played on our showroom all the time, and every time I hear it, I'm like, man, I remember that. That was some cool ass shit.
Yeah, that'll take you back. Hearing something profound while you're on a psychedelic. Anytime you listen to it again, it like you don't get there, but you get like a peripheral vision of what you were experiencing. It's the best.
As someone who absolutely loves metal, I tried to listen to metal when I was on mushrooms, and I closed my eyes, and all I was seeing was violence, and it honestly scared the shit out of me. I was like, all right, we're not gonna do this right now.
And this is coming from a guy that listens to the heaviest music I could think of.
It's not even the heaviest. I feel like I have a pretty well-rounded metal taste, and like I tried a couple different things. So of course the first thing I tried is Slipknot because that's the most important band to me. And I'm like, nope, this isn't gonna do it. So then I was like, well, let me listen to maybe like something heavier, but like not as violent. So I threw on some Whitechapel, and I was like, definitely not. I was like, all right, I think
Whitechapel. I forgot about that.
You should have been listening to some Van Halen, bro. And David Lee Roth.
I probably should have, or I should have thrown on some Mastodon or something like that, because something more
spacey.
chill.
You know what? I feel like the song High Road while you're tripping would be absolutely amazing.
I'm telling you, the album I think a great album to trip balls to would probably be Crack the Sky, because it tells a very great story, and it's like there's so much like layers to that album, so I think that'd be dope. Tool's always a good one to do too, because Tool just
If we're talking about psychedelics, let me tell you, I did acid one time. And I listened to Tool for the last 3 hours of my trip. And I eventually ended up driving home listening to it. And I swear to God, I felt like the car. It was like a first person view from the bumper. It was a great, granted, this was like 6-7 hours into it. So I'm pretty over the hump, but oh my God, Tool, when you're tripping balls, I cannot recommend enough.
This
A
fool
new
driving a car on acid. I hate you.
Dude,
we don't condone any of this behavior, by
no,
the way.
we
I
don't.
condone
Yeah,
nothing. This is all
Ramon
my
just got
stupid...
himself locked up, committed to a crime.
I mean, that's just
That is
him in
not
a
true,
nutshell,
everybody.
though.
That is not true.
This is the guy who, like, he lives on inebriation, whether he's freaking it's tobacco or freaking alcohol. I mean,
I love an altered state of mind.
like
What
check
can I
this
say?
out, you guys. Let me just walk you down this. This is Razor in a nutshell. So obviously, you two went visited Wyatt in his neck of the woods, and from what I hear, it was pretty much just a non-stop drinking weekend for Mr. Martinez over here.
He wasn't the only one, bro. We were
Everybody.
throwing back.
No, but
It's definitely my
let's keep it
presence
going.
that does it.
So
That's
this
the reg,
guy,
bro.
this guy tells me yesterday, yeah, man, I'm not gonna drink for 2 weeks because like he's like, I overdid it, man.
took 3 days. I took 3 days. It was enough. Oh shit!
That's him in a nutshell.
I'll
Where
tell
like
you, the mountains were blue today.
Hey, well, let me tell you. Hold on, I'm the one that keeps this podcast on track. I'm high and I listen to metal and I'm inebriated. I'm keeping this shit on track right here.
I'm gonna go
Metal
ahead
gets me
and say that Razor's wearing he's the crown champion of the T-shirt today with his shout out 200 stab wounds.
200 stab wounds.
For
that OG, that is an EP or is it an album, Al?
It is an EP.
That EP goes like a motherfucker. That's all I gotta say.
For anyone who's a fan of 200 stab wounds, we are definitely hoping at some point we could get our boy Stephen Bull, lead singer and guitarist, on, because if you don't know who 200 stab wounds is, check them out, people.
100%. They are the hardest shit around right now. I mean, like, I feel like I'm pretty into the new shit, and you can't beat them, honestly.
No,
just the riffs, and his voice is so mighty. You know, it's a bad fucking group right there.
Yep.
Yeah, 200 was really good when we saw them at the Starline Social.
See him again soon too.
They blew the fucking doors off that place.
They were so good that they were out of merch, and while I was standing there at their merch booth, I ordered this on the website.
You had to.
I'm like, I need one of these shirts.
Well, shortly here we're gonna go into how we how we end our show. But before that, I want to just say real quick, next week, it's end of June. We're halfway through the year, so we're gonna come at you with our top 5 albums of the year so far, and our top 5 songs of the year once again so far. So definitely want to check that out. Definitely want to tune in for that. But now let's get into our send-off. So the way we end our show, Wyatt, is we like to give people, maybe, someone who wants to check out metal, they don't know what metal is, but they're interested. We want to give them a song to kind of give them an entry point. I think this is perfect coming from, somebody who's a little more casual of a fan like yourself, to give you, those fresh ears, something that'll be a little bit easier to get into. So let's start with you, man. Like, if you had to give somebody ask you, hey man, like, what's a metal song I should check out? What song are you going to point them to?
It's definitely a Slipknot song, and because I would just say just jump into it and just go listen to Slipknot.
Ride the wave.
It just get into it, because I feel like once you start listening to Slipknot, it lets you branch off to other bands.
Yeah.
And then you can cut, because like I feel like Slipknot's like a very likable band from all outside perspectives. Where I feel like other metal bands, like if you haven't listened to metal before and you hear it for the first time, you're gonna be like, "What the fuck, dude?" Like, and
that's the reaction. It was the reaction for me back when I was 14. So
no, 100%. I'm just fuck. How does it go? Honestly, I can't remember the name of
I
the
felt
song.
the air rise up in me.
I like that song a lot.
Wait
too.
and Bleed. That's a
But
great song.
the song.
It's got to be Duality.
The song they. Oh, I love that song
Yeah.
too. Oh my god, yeah.
It's a
That
great
Push my
fucking
fingers
song.
into
I probably
my
Devil and I is really good.
That one's great.
I
Hell
probably
yeah.
Devil
Great
and I.
song.
I would say Devil and I. Go listen to Devil and I.
It's a good mix
That's
of
dope.
heavy and clean.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because you get the heavy riffs in the song, but then you get the heaviness, you get the melody. See?
Yeah, that I would say go listen to that song. If you're looking to get into metal and you're like, let me dabble in this, go listen to Devil and I. That song's gonna make you like Slipknot. You're gonna go listen to a bunch of the other stuff. Then you're gonna look at similar bands. The next thing you know, you're gonna be locked in, and you're gonna be like, yeah, dude, I fuck with metal. Like that's just tight. So that's where I'm at right now. Like, and I feel like Slipknot really did that for me because I feel like a lot of the bands I listened to before I listened to Slipknot weren't really metal.
More rock.
Yeah, and I like rock music, and it's just
Yeah.
I never got into metal, and then I kind of listened to Slipknot, and then you guys just kind of showing me other bands, and I think just really got me into it. But I would say like the one that really gave me the chance to be like I'm going to listen to other bands was Slipknot. So I would say go listen to The Devil and I and Slipknot.
That's a good one.
Great
I like
fucking
it.
Hell
choice.
yeah, that's a
Great
great
fucking
choice
choice.
right there.
All right, let me hand it over to you, Razor. What knowledge are you dropping to somebody who wants to listen to metal?
Man, after a lot of consideration, I've been thinking about this all day actually. I'm gonna have to go with 12-Foot Ninja, One Hand Killing.
That's a good
Wow.
one.
Just
That is a
just
good
just because it
No
has
screaming.
no screaming, it has heavy riffs, and it also has like a jazz aspect. Maybe like
Mhm.
I mean, it's legitimately it's you. If you didn't know it was metal, you would just be like, oh, this is some good shit, you know?
Yeah,
But that,
there's good
yeah,
music.
12
Good
12-Foot
musicianship.
Ninja, One Hand Killing is probably my answer.
That's a good
Very
one.
nice.
I like it. And let's go to you, Brad. What is your jam you're gonna give to the metal masses?
I'm gonna give this jam based off of what you said earlier, Al, the weight room story, and go with "Nightmare" by Avenged Sevenfold. When I first heard this song, I listened to it. I watched the YouTube music video, maybe like 50, 60 times in a row. And
It is
just the beginning where it's like, bing, bing.
It's a great build up. And then
It's
the
a great build-up.
yes. And not to mention one of the best drummers in the game replacing, a legend. Mike Portnoy, dude, one of the best drummers in the game. And the fact that he was the guy who got to replace the Rev in that album, it's dope.
God, you just gave me goosebumps all the way up and down my fucking body, man.
Dude, I mean,
Yeah.
you
Portnoy
mentioned
is a
it.
fucking monster. And you know what? Who was it? The Rev? That was the
Rev. Jimmy
the Rev
Sullivan.
was-
Yeah,
honestly,
Jimmy
he was such an amazing drummer. Like, just his drums were crisp and fucking. They were great. Honestly,
His clean singing too.
Having Mike Portnoy,
Yeah.
Mike Portnoy replaced was a great fill. You know.
I feel it. The jam I'm gonna give out to people. I'm a little bit heavier. I want to get.
Yeah.
I'm
you
gonna throw you off the cliff sometimes. And there's a song that's a heavy song that I think if you have any kind of like appreciation for guitar, I think there's no way that you can appreciate this song. It's another fallen warrior in the song. I'm going to give you the Executioner Tax, parentheses, Swing of the Axe by Power Trip. Because the guitar work in that song to me is like the embodiment of metal. And I think Riley Gale has a voice where it's harsh enough, but you could still understand what he's saying. So I think I'm going to give you that song because if you get into that song as a pretty early
so
metal,
groovy.
yeah. And I'm so fortunate. Like I was thinking about too, when thinking about Trevor when driving, that like I've kind of been fortunate to be able to see a couple of guys before they passed. Riley's one of them. Obviously, Trevor's one of them. Joey Jordison is another one where like that guy to me as a kid growing up, I was like, I don't think there's a better drummer on earth than Joey Jordison. I got to see him fucking play on the set and fucking spin upside down and shit.
On the Sparco fucking seat.
Yes, and it's just, I'm like I said, dude, I feel very fortunate to be able to catch some of those legends, and it sucks if you love that song that I show you, Swing of the Axe, because you're never gonna be able to see it live. You're never gonna be able to experience it.
Yeah, it is with that live performance that he put on. Not just like the like his singing, but like his presence.
Presence, yes.
His I sound super like douchey, but like the way, like his swag, the way he like conducted the stage was like, it sucks that you know he passed away so young.
Yeah,
because there was a lot of potential right there.
The first and only guy I've seen perform with sweats on stage. So
Slayer sweats.
Well, you guys, that concludes episode 7 of Metal Gets Me High. Thanks, Wyatt, for stopping by. We'll definitely have you on.
Yes,
again.
sir.
Colorado native.
Great metal scene going on there, too. Great metal scene in Colorado. If you didn't know, check out Primitive Man. Check out Chemist. Check out Bog Body. There's good shit going on in Colorado. Legion.
Yeah, Denver's got some good metal.
Hell yeah.
There, so.
I was gonna say I've heard about a couple shows and I've seen some stuff just driving around different parts of the city. I took you guys to that metal bar when you guys came out here.
Yeah, you did.
Hey, Wyatt, it's a $25 to $30 ticket. Just check any metal show out whenever you have a chance.
Well, if I see
if it takes me flying out there to take you, so be it.
Hey, I'm not opposed to that.
And they serve beer there, and you can smoke there. You can hit your puff or your MJ.
Yeah.
Just get little fucking electronic cigarettes.
Getting faded and start moshing around.
Exactly. Well, all right, you guys. Thank you, and check out next week for top 5 so far.
Let's get it.
See you, everybody.
Later.
See ya.
Bye.